Hi, Jamie McIntyre here from 21st Century Education. Happy to share with you the top 10 investments I think for the year 2014 coming up. I know many of 20th Century followers eagerly await my views on what's hot, what's not, and these do change over time as market conditions change. Of course, we need to adjust our strategy slightly, but then there's always some fundamental financial strategies that we always tend to use and don't change. And I guess this year at number one, property investing in Australia in particular claims the top spot, and property has been fairly high up there always in my investment strategy since I started investing in real estate. And as you know, if you've been a 20th Century member, it's the cornerstone strategy because it's been so successful. So obviously I've been predicting about a year ago, I started predicting a property boom over the next 2-3 years in Australia. A year ago, most people were very skeptical about that, but we always tend to be pretty accurate at predicting the property cycles, and as we've seen in the last year, now it's gone from, property's not going to rise again to all of a sudden they're talking about a property bubble, which once again I don't agree is likely to happen in the near future. But Sydney prices have risen over 11% already this year in the first 10 months of 2013, 8% across national increase on property. Obviously that's not evened out to all areas. So some areas are growing and some areas have still had pretty slow growth, but that will pick up. Next 2 to 3 years, I'm expecting strong property price growth in Australia in the markets, and that's why buying Australian property, the buy and hold strategy that we teach, the formula we teach at 21st Century, how an average person can increase their net worth by $1 million in the next 10 years, just following our most basic formula of acquiring 2 investment properties, 2 quality properties over the next decade to increase the net worth by $1 million is one of the most soundest financial strategies I know that exists anywhere in the world. And even though Australian property prices, yes, are high, I still believe with the low interest rates, the massive demand for Australian property, the shortages that we have, that we will see, and inflationary pressures we'll continue to see over time, price growth. In particular, that cycle over 10 years of doubling is not even. And the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see fairly rampant growth, and then you'll maybe go back to a more flatter growth period, in which we've seen, say, in markets like Sydney for the last 6 or 7 years. And coming in number 2, which has been rated pretty highly by me for the last 3 years, is US property. I've been bullish on US property. I told people, my followers and investors, that I was investing in US property some years back, and those who have done that and done it properly have done quite well. In particular, we used to target the city of Phoenix, and we've seen very rampant price growth in the city of Phoenix. Now, when I was suggesting investing in the US, I was telling my followers that even if we didn't get any capital growth, it's the rental returns that we're after. It could take 10 years to recover. Any recovery before that time's a bonus, and we have seen that bonus. We've seen rapid increase in price growth in US property, in particular cities that like Phoenix that have come out of that, where we haven't been able to buy more stock because it's too expensive. But people now, a lot of our investors are cashing out of some of those properties and moving to some of the cities that are yet to really see that price growth. But really in the US, what we're after is the cash flow returns. If you can get that 13, 15, 18% rental return, then that's a very good return. Some of the latest properties we've been able to access is getting as high as 30, 40% returns, which is incredible. The key to US properties, of course, getting the right areas, and it's not perfect, but enables people from $40,000, $50,000 to get into the market, which sometimes are priced out of the Australian market. So US property can be very lucrative done correctly. There is no perfect investment, so some things can go wrong. We've had some disasters where property managers steal the rent, or the government in the US is going broke, so they delay payments on Section 8 payments or squeeze you down and paying less than you expect. I mean, these things have happened. We've had some clients where their home US property they bought have burnt down. However, if you have insurance in place, and many of them actually are happy the house burnt down because they end up getting an insurance check based on the rebuild price of a property, which, because they've been able to access and buy these properties well below what it costs to, what the insurance value is, or what it costs to replace, they've ended up, disasters turned into being a very profitable situation. So US property, I still rate very highly. There's a lot of opportunities there, for the next 12 months in particular, and I'm continuing my acquisition strongly in the US property. I think it complements Australian property quite well because of the cash flow benefits. Number 3, brand new strategy. We jumped into the top 10 this year, is a strategy I've been learning of late. It's not a new strategy, but it's been around, and many people in Australia, you probably know some people have done well from this. Incredibly simple, but incredibly lucrative. And that's what we're looking for, is strategies that have a high degree of success that the average person can partake in. And that is land subdivision. And in particular, maybe buying a bigger block, a bigger house block that you can subdivide the back of your block, and have one house on it, you subdivide and build a townhouse or a second house in the back block, which you can then rent out for additional cash flow, or you can sell off at a profit. This strategy can make the average person a good 100,000 or more every 6 months, just part-time, doing, say 2 deals a year. Someone can be making $250,000 a year in additional profit on top of their current career. That all become full-time if they want to do maybe 4 or 5 deals a year. One of our team at 21st Century has been doing this for some time, and so if you want a hands-on approach, of course you have to know how to do it and do it correctly, but that is a strategy that I put up number 3 this year because it's a way to add value to property by subdividing, building a townhouse on the back and making some good money from that. Number 4 is land banking. Land banking has been a great strategy and stays in the top 5, simply where you're acquiring land that's rezoned residential or will be rezoned residential in the future. And this is probably where the richest people have made the most money in Australian real estate, is not so much through the houses, through the land banking, acquiring the land well in advance of where before the cities grow, etc. And it's a patient strategy and 10, 15 year type strategy in most cases, but if you're a patient investor, you can make very good money, particularly if you apply the strategies that we've used for a lot of our investors that are able to do it without having to borrow money by tying it up with an option where you got no ongoing costs, but you got all the upside. That's why that remains in the top 5. Number 5 of that, it's not a particular investment strategy, but added blogging, how to blog your way to 100,000 per annum, because it is an investment as far as time and skill set, but can generate you a lucrative income. So read about that. I'm excited about that. Blogging is the way of the future, and that comes in at number 5. Number 6, share lords, the concept of share renting, which I termed some years ago. You can certainly learn about that. That's always been a consistent top 10 performer if you've done correctly, and speak to some of our licensed experts on that. If you want to learn about that, there's some free videos available. Number 7, I've added a brand new one, internet domain trading. This isn't effectively an investment strategy, it's online real estate effectively, and then you can certainly learn about this. It requires very little capital, but an opportunity to make quite good money. People are making a small to large fortune from domain trading. It's only going to increase as the value of certain domains go up. If you can get good at trading these, you can make a lot of money, and it's something you can do part-time and do quite well. So internet domain trading, you might want to find out about that. The good thing with a lot of these strategies, we do make a lot of free resources available as free videos or access to learn more about these things, or some free webinars. So check out the website here at topinvestorsecrets.com, and if you want more information on these particular strategies, in most cases that will be available. Number 8, I've added the brand new one too, Bitcoin trading. Many people may not even be familiar with Bitcoin, the new digital currency that's proven to be more than a fad, that is growing. There's several ways to make money out of Bitcoin. There's been over 250 millionaires created already and growing rapidly. I wrote a book on it recently, How to Become a Bitcoin Millionaire. And this is, I think there's a unique opportunity. Of course, there's risks to every investment, but if you do your research, you might want to be ahead of the trend and learn a little bit about that. Number 9, I put in network marketing as a business model. I think with the changes with the internet, where people are able to drive traffic and grow an online business, these are becoming more popular and being considered, of course, not for everyone. And number 10 is rounded out by Forex trading, which has been number 10 for some time. More speculative investment, but some people don't mind that and love to learn about that. Once again, we have licensed people if you want to watch some videos or get some mentoring that are professional traders in that. So take advantage of that. That's my top 10. That'll give you a bit of an idea. Obviously it changes as market situations change, but that's my focus. I've always been very bullish on property. I continue to invest in property. I like the US market. I also like the Australian property market. and businesses. I like to develop businesses, and that's the cornerstone of that. There's also obviously with the stock market strategies we teach as well. So it gives you a good choice, a buffet of particular strategies if you're sitting there thinking, what could I possibly do over the next year to really increase my financial performance or really start setting myself up for a retirement or be able to free my life up. It's all about education. Get yourself educated, make some smart decisions, and do what feels best for you, and always seek some independent professional advice is what I'd recommend. So look forward to seeing you perhaps at some of our live events. Take advantage of our free resources, learn as much as you can, and with these strategies you can often be earning money while you're learning. I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Take care.